I've been having this discussion point stuck in my head for a little bit. Now, I've always had these guys on my limited section for predictions for a while now, and I want to bring up some points that people have made and some that people definitely agree with them. Now, Dragon Rulers as a whole, as we have one of them currently limited, I feel like that it hasn't been doing anything, and they should start bringing the other three back off the list. Now, since this year is the year of the Earth, that means Redox is going to might see a comeback, and I definitely hope that they do bring back Redox, Ruler of the Boulders. Now, why do I would like to see all three of them back, or all four of them back at one? Honestly, what they do, they're super slow of what they used to be. People just live in fear that, oh, Dragon Rulers can't come back because it's gonna bring back a tier 1 deck. When you look at it, not really. What they do now compared to what they did is less than more, so not good. As we've seen with Tempest, it was a tech card in Dragon Rulers for a little bit, but it has made its home in decks. Mostly like, I guess, Dragon Maid and also stuff like Dragoonity. Being a 2-for-1 search for a Wind Dragon and also being a special summon, or, well, that's only one or the other. And then we also have Blaster being a 2-for-1 destruction or bringing itself back or onto the board. Then you have Tidal being a 2-for-1 Foolish Burial that triggers water effects, or it could just summon it back. Or we have Redox being a 2-for-1 Monster Reborn, or you could bring it back as a 3k wall. Now, in my opinion, going 2-for-1 for a card is very bad nowadays, unless it has a proper use, like using Tempest and Dragoonity, because you get your graveyard set up while you're getting pieces that you need. Then you have Blaster. The only deck I could really think that would run it are things like Salamangreat and also Volcanics, because if you open up Blaster, a Salamangreat, and a Gazelle, maybe. Then you have Tidal. This will be played in things like Water, being Mermail and Lantean, but I really don't see Mermail and Lantean getting a boost from this because the deck is kind of just terrible and it favors a slower format with less hand traps. And Redox is just kind of bad. Nowadays, everyone has access to things like Monster Reborn. You also have World Legacy Secessions in many, many ways just to bring stuff back. In my opinion, I feel like all three of these could just go back to 3, or even all 4 of them can go back to 3. Like, move them all up to 1, see what happens. If they do nothing, just put them to 2, then put them to 3. And in my opinion, Dragon Rulers aren't as good as they used to be. They're a good splashable little piece that I would have to say they're utility cards nowadays, and they aren't going to be a deck. Now, what does this mean for other cards on the ban list like Dragon Ravine, Super Rejuvenation? If someone figured out how to run a Dragon Ruler deck, fine. Let's be that way. They're missing out of key cards nowadays like Eclipse Wyvern and Return from the Different Dimension. I definitely feel like that all 4 Dragon Rulers can exist at 1 or even at 3 because they're not that good. And we even have the smaller Dragon Rulers. And by the smaller Dragon Rulers, I mean things like Stream, Pebble, Burner, and Lightning. These ones tutor them out, but in all honesty, it's still 2-for-1 to try and get a big Dragon Ruler out so you can go into a rank 7 play. Nowadays, you could go into something like Hieratic Seal. But it's just not worth it. You have to open up 4 Dragon Rulers with a Super Rejuvenation, discard the 4, summon out 2, summon out Seal, end phase, draw 4, hope to get a hand trap. But in my opinion, I hope y'all agree with me, Dragon Rulers just age terribly. And sure, they'll have their decks. Redox has Adamancipators and really any Earth deck that you can think of, like Melfay. But other than that, all 4 can be ran in Dragon Maids. They could be easily used to sell Dragon Maids. And they all could be put into a set and all super rare. Because I wish all of them had super rare prints just to match. Right now they just have rare secret, and Tempest only has a super, along with Lightning. The baby rulers haven't gotten a upgrade yet, which is kind of sad, but kind of understandable. But overall, I feel like these 4 tyrants of their era could come back to 3, and they still won't do anything. It will bring back a lot of nostalgia, but other than that, that's where they will rest, being a nostalgia point of Yu-Gi-Oh! A point where Yu-Gi-Oh! Turned its head and sped up way too much. And that's where all the consistency and current format stuff comes from, is their consistency and their speed for the time. But I want to know what you guys think about the Dragon Rulers. Could they all come back to 1 and even back to 3? But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.